What happens when Gotham's most dangerous woman is betrayed by her own blood? Sofia Falcone's darkest hour has arrived, and no one is safe from her wrath. From shocking betrayals to cold-blooded revenge, Episode 4 of The Penguin changes everything. Let's dive in. The heat is on, Nadia's threat. We pick up right where we left off. Oz and Sofia cornered by Nadia Maroney, who isn't playing around. The tension in this scene is palpable. Nadia's got them dead to rights, and what's worse, she reveals she already knows about Bliss, the new street drug Oz and Sofia are pushing. That's a massive blow to their operation. But Sofia has no idea that Oz has been dealing with the Maroneys behind her back. She's left reeling, caught off guard and vulnerable. Before Sofia even has time to process this betrayal, Victor Aguilar, the wild card, makes his dramatic entrance by crashing his car into the scene. We get a chaotic burst of gunfire, and it's every man for himself. Oz sees his opportunity and, true to his character, seizes it, bolting from the scene and leaving Sofia behind. Now, this move is critical. Oz abandoning Sofia isn't just about self-preservation. This is a pattern. This betrayal echoes something much deeper, and as we learn later in the episode, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back for Sofia. But for now, she's left alone to pick up the pieces as Victor and Oz make their escape. This marks the beginning of the end for the fragile alliance they'd built. Sofia's dark past. Unveiled from here, we dive into a flashback that gives us an intimate glimpse into Sofia's tragic past. 10 years ago, she was the public face of the Falcone family, poised, charming, and respected. But beneath that polished surface, her life was haunted by her mother's suicide. In this scene, we see Sofia speaking at a charity gala, raising awareness about mental illness. It's a raw, vulnerable moment for her, and it highlights just how much her mother's death affected her. This gala scene is important because it sets the stage for Sofia's eventual breakdown. We're used to seeing her as this cold, hardened figure, but back then, she was different. She shared a close bond with Oz, who was still just her driver at the time. Their relationship, once built on mutual respect, now feels miles away from the manipulation and betrayal we see in the present day. But the real gut punch comes when Summer Gleason, an investigative reporter, approaches Sofia with unsettling information. There's a string of women in Gotham who all died in the same manner as her mother, hanging. One of these women worked at the Iceberg Lounge, a place intimately tied to the Falcone family. Sofia is visibly shaken, and for a brief moment, we see cracks in her composed exterior. Could her father, Carmine Falcone, have been involved in these deaths? Sofia doesn't want to believe it, but the seed of doubt is planted. This is where the episode shifts gears. Sofia's internal struggle begins, and we're pulled into her growing paranoia and fear. She retreats into denial, but it's clear that her world is beginning to unravel. Enter Carmine Falcone. A father's betrayal. Let's talk about Carmine Falcone. In this episode, Mark Strong steps into the role, replacing John Turturro's version from The Batman, and while the casting change might feel jarring at first, Strong absolutely owns it. He's not here to imitate Turturro, he's here to make Carmine his own, and in this flashback dinner scene, he does just that. Carmine, in all his ruthlessness, exudes control over the family. At this dinner, we see him grooming Sofia to take over the family business, even as he belittles Alberto. But there's a chilling undercurrent to this conversation. Sofia's growing suspicions about her father are eating away at her, and when she finally broaches the topic of her mother's death, Carmine gaslights her, dismissing her concerns as nonsense. Here's where it gets really dark. Oz, who had been eavesdropping, reports Sofia's conversation with Summer Gleason back to Carmine. This leads to one of the most painful scenes in the episode. Carmine confronts Sofia, accusing her of working with the police and questioning her loyalty. He gaslights her even further, framing her as mentally unstable. It's heartbreaking to watch Sofia unravel, knowing her own father has orchestrated her downfall. In this moment, we understand the full scope of Carmine's power over Sofia. He's not just the head of a crime family. He's a master manipulator who has controlled every aspect of her life, from her childhood to now. This dinner scene marks the beginning of Sofia's tragic descent. Sofia's torture at Arkham. After Carmine successfully frames Sofia for the murders, she's sent to Arkham Asylum. And if you thought her downfall was tragic before, what happens to her in Arkham is nothing short of horrifying. We witness Sofia endure both physical and psychological torture, and the show spares no details in showing just how dehumanizing her experience is. Sofia is subjected to brutal treatment under the supervision of Dr. Ventress and Julian, who force her into isolation and drug her to the point of near madness. Her pleas of innocence fall on deaf ears, and the system continues to break her down. One particularly brutal scene involves an inmate named Abby, who Sofia watches spiral into self-harm after being driven to the brink by Arkham's twisted regime. This is the moment when Sofia realizes she's truly alone. Her father has abandoned her, her brother is powerless, and Oz's betrayal runs deeper than she could have imagined. In a brutal twist, Sofia slowly begins to lose her grip on reality, her mind warping under the weight of the lies and manipulation she's been fed. But here's the thing, Sofia isn't just a victim. As the episode progresses, we see her start to embrace her dark side. She's hardened by the torment she endures at Arkham, and this transformation is painful but also inevitable. By the time she leaves, she's no longer the same woman who was once terrified of her father. She's something much more dangerous. Revenge served cold. The Falcone Massacre. The final act of the episode delivers one of the most jaw-dropping moments of the series so far. Sofia returns to the Falcone estate, but this time, she's in control. She calmly walks into the family dinner, delivers a chilling toast, and proceeds to kill off almost the entire Falcone family via carbon monoxide poisoning. It's a calculated, ruthless act of vengeance, and it's the perfect capstone to her transformation. What's fascinating about this scene is how emotionless Sofia is. She's finally achieved the revenge she's been plotting for years, yet there's no triumph in her eyes, just a cold, steely determination. She spares only Johnny Vitti, sending him a message that even the last of the Falcones isn't safe from her wrath. This scene is a masterclass in tension. The slow buildup, the quiet dread as the family realizes what's happening, and Sofia's detached demeanor all contribute to making it one of the most memorable moments in the series so far. By the time the episode ends, Sofia is no longer the tragic daughter struggling to escape her father's shadow. She's a villain in her own right, ready to take over Gotham's underworld. The birth of the Hangman. So, what did we witness in episode 4? We saw the complete and tragic transformation of Sofia Falcone, from a woman fighting for her place in her family to a ruthless, cold-blooded killer with nothing left to lose. Miliotti's performance in this episode is absolutely stunning, portraying both the vulnerability and the terrifying strength of Sofia as she evolves into Gotham's next big threat. By the time the credits roll, there's no doubt that Sofia is now a major player in Gotham's criminal world. But what's next? How will Oz react to her rise? And will Sofia's thirst for power ultimately be her undoing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Sofia will reign supreme, or is her empire built on borrowed time? If you loved this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth recaps, reviews, and everything. Penguin. Until next time, Gothamites, stay safe out there. The city's only getting darker from here.